Live from Nashville, Tennessee, it's the Three. With the Studio C Band. And here's your host, Laura Harris-Smith.
Hi everybody, I'm Laura Harris-Smith and welcome to this special edition of The Three. NRB stands for the National Religious Broadcasters, and the annual NRB International Christian Media Convention is the largest nationally and internationally recognized event dedicated solely to assisting those in the field of Christian communications. It is the best place to network with Christian communication leaders from print, the web, radio, digital media, film, and television, not to mention the best place to promote a program. I've personally attended NRB numerous times as an author, but this year it was a first for me to attend as a broadcaster. The Three took our cameras and got to sit down with some special individuals and ask the questions that we know you want answers to about our country and where media is taking us. Take a look at some of the snippets from some of my favorite interviews there. I'm here with my friend James Goll. You are my friend. You have been with me for a while. I just love you to pieces.
We are friends, and your husband too.
And my husband too. That's right, Chris. And we both love you. You are on our Apostolic Council for the church we pastor, Eastgate Creative Christian Fellowship. You have been in this city for over 20 years now.
You're right.
And I just want to say, as a native Nashvilleian, thank you for leaving everything and coming here. The temperature of our city is much different. So many people know you in that light.
Right.
They know you as a minister. They know you as a prophet. We're not here today to talk about any of that.
Oh my goodness.
Hardly any of that. I know. I'm so excited because many people don't know that before you were ever a preacher, you were a singer. Yeah. So we're here to talk today about your new CD, Never Alone. Tell me all about it, and I'll dive in with other questions later.
Okay, you're exactly right. The little tagline is, but it's a reality, before I was a preacher, I was a singer. Now, what does that mean? So like other young guys, like in high school and college, like maybe they did football or basketball or something, I sang. Wow. And I loved it. And in growing up, I was always the kid that had like the lead role in the plays or this or that and singing. But I also just loved to sing. And like church, hymns, I just loved it. And then later, then in the Jesus People movement, the early charismatic movement, then I also was the arranger of the music for a group called the Seekers. And then I became the lead singer of a trio called Light of the Day. Now, but it all goes back further than that. I remember when being a kid, watching the Lawrence Welk show.
Oh, yes, brought to you by Geritol.
Got it. And that was just part of American Midwest family. Yeah. And I remember when the Irish tenor came on. Now, I'm not a tenor, I'm actually a bass baritone. Yes. But when the Irish tenor came on, my daddy would turn to me. And this is one of the sweet memories I have. He would turn to me and he said, "Now, son, when you grow up, this is what you should do." So just recently, I'm with Brown Bannister, who we know, an amazing man of God, won 17 Grammys, 30 Doves, and 4 Tellys, and he became my executive producer. And when I was in the studio producing for over 2 years to do this, I would hear a thought run through my mind. Now, when you grow up, this is what you should do. Now, I was 64 and 65 years old, so I decided I have grown up. And so I dedicated this, actually, to my father.
That is beautiful. I did not know about that memory. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people, because of who you are,
yes, ma'am,
and because of what you do, and the beautiful reputation that the Lord has given you and that you have sustained with honor and great integrity, they are going to expect this to be a worship CD.
Oh, you're exactly right.
And it is not.
It's
let me
not.
just read you some of these. Okay.
Good.
What a wonderful world.
Yeah.
What the world needs now.
Yes.
You are so beautiful. I'm saying that to you. You are so beautiful.
I got it.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Yeah.
Unforgettable. Stick together. Now you did Stick Together with your daughter Rachel.
Yeah, she wrote it.
Oh,
It's incredible.
It's beautiful.
She sings Old Blue Eyes to me, and I turn and I sing Young Brown Eyes to her. The song is about our family. And in the bridge, I wrote the bridge. Oh my goodness, it's a tearjerker right there.
Yeah.
We mourn, we grieve, we always believe we're family.
Wow.
So it's giving another tender spiritual message, though.
It is, and that really beautifully segues into what I wanted to ask, which is the title, Never Alone.
Yeah.
The line, we mourn, we grieve. So you've been without Michael Ann for how long now?
9.5 years.
9.5 years.
Yeah,
I simply
pretty
cannot
crazy.
believe that.
Yeah.
But I have watched you.
Yeah.
Had a front row seat over those 9.5 years,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this is, and the title, I haven't even asked you if that's part of the play on the
Yes, it
words in the
is.
title.
Yes, it is.
But you truly are never alone. I mean, the Lord has been your portion.
Yes, that's right.
You have gone from feast and famine and back, and what I say, thick and thicker.
Yeah.
You've been through thick and thicker.
Right. It's
But
true.
I'm really proud of you for making this and for stepping out on a limb
Yeah.
and for getting in touch with your creative side. So at what
Yes.
point in the last 9.5 years
Yes.
do you think you became convinced to do that? Because I think it had more than just with your father and that,
Oh, no,
that inspiration he gave you. Something
Yes.
clicked inside of you in the last few years that I've known you, and it's been different with you.
No, this is exactly right. So now, the Never Alone comes from the theme song of this CD, which is from Carousel, the
Right.
1940s musical,
Right.
You'll Never Walk Alone. But why never alone? It's because I am not alone. I will never be alone. I close out with Morning Has Broken, which is a spiritual song, and I close out with a surprise to people. I take them back to what they are expecting from me, my voice. And I do 2 scriptures, and I quote, and I go, and lo, Jesus said, and lo, I will be with you always. And I want you to know this, you will never be alone. But it came because the Holy Spirit actually spoke this to me. I was at a conference. Heidi Baker was ministering. Holy Spirit arrested me and he said, I want you to record music. I'm going, okay, all right. And he said, not worship music, inspirational music. He said, and he told me a couple of duets to do, which are on there.
Really? So you got the instruction
I got
for how to put all this
details.
together. Wow.
Yeah, I did. He gave me details, and he said it was to be inspirational because he said, I want you to touch the world, not just the church. And I want you, I'm putting a message of hope in you
Right.
that the world needs and the church needs.
Wow.
And they need to know with what's coming in the world that they are not alone. So he told me that he wanted to use the circumstances of my life, and he wanted me to put it in music, but in secular, inspirational.
Right.
It's actually called cross classical. But I had a lot of God help. So I told God 3 things. I know we
Okay.
got to talk fast. And I told God 3 things when he said, I want you to do this recording, and it's going to be inspirational music. I'll have some duets, and it's going to touch the
Right,
world
right.
more than all your teaching CDs ever have. And I go, really, what, huh? And so I told him 3 things.
Really?
I said, I said, if this is you, I want a confirmation. Number 2, if this is you, I want some jack. That's called money. Because that sounds expensive.
Yes.
I said, number 3, out of my heart came a desire. And I said, if this is you, I only want to do it with the best.
Wow.
You
did.
And a year later, a son in the faith, Matt Sorger, sitting at dinner with him, gives me the word the Holy Spirit said verbatim. He says, I hear you recording. It's not worship music.
Wow.
It's like Broadway. And he nailed it. Then the Holy Spirit did, I got a gift. And a person from another nation Michael Ann, my late wife, had sewed a gift to an orphanage. These people were millionaires. They did not need her money.
Oh my goodness.
And she sewed a gift, which I didn't even know she did. I'm in this nation.
It sounds like her.
And they give me an envelope and they said, this is for you. It's not for your ministry. It's for you. And the Lord told us to give you 10 times the amount of the seed that your wife gave. And this is for a secret that is in your heart.
Oh my goodness, James.
Check mark number 2.
Yes.
Then I practiced with my daughter-in-law, Pearl, who's a classical pianist and classical violinist. And I took music and I studied it. And I took You'll Never Walk Alone, and I took these pieces of music, and I listened to 20 different versions, and I would cut and paste and go, I like this part here and that part there. And I went back to what I did when I was like 22 years old.
Yeah.
I put it together. I practiced for 6 months with her, and then I had an audition.
Really?
Yes. I had an audition with Brown Bannister and with McKendry Tucker, and I had an audition. And Pearl was playing, and what I ended up finding out, I ended up with a world-class vocal trainer.
Yeah, okay.
Because they knew I needed help. I didn't qualify for any of this, but I told the Lord, I said, if this is you, I need a confirmation. I'm going to need some help financially, and I want to do it with the best. I got a confirmation. I had money that was given to me that wasn't for the ministry to do a secret in my heart. And this is a gift to you because He wants you to know you are never alone. But I want to say, if God calls you to do something, and this is a testimony of that,
Yes,
if you'll be diligent, there's His part, there's your part. If you'll be diligent, like you're being media right now, and have been for years, He will help underwrite it.
Yes.
And He will confirm His word.
'Cause we are family. Let's stick together.
Let's stick together.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching The3. But you know, it dawned on me that I really need to officially introduce myself to many of you, even though I've been in television for 50 years. My parents put me in my first commercial at age 3, and that path carried me all the way to the Shop at Home TV network where I was a host. I'm a wife of 34 years to Chris, a mom to 6 adult children, and a grandmother to 8 so far. I'm an author of, goodness, over 20 books and ebooks, and whatever I write, you can count on the fact that it will help you physically, emotionally, and spiritually because my passion is body, mind, and spirit health. I'm a certified nutritionist with a degree in original medicine. And my husband and I pastor a phenomenal church in Nashville called Eastgate Creative Christian Fellowship, where we help people get healthy body, mind, and spirit. So if you're ever in the Nashville area, I hope you'll stop in and say hi. You know, God had a son, but what He wanted was a family. So He sent Jesus to come and get us. Likewise, I had a TV career, but what I really want is a TV family. As you can tell by now, I have always had one foot in media and one foot in ministry, and it's all collided now on The3. So please become a part of The3's family. Visit the link on your screen to give a tax-deductible gift and help me purchase airtime that takes this fun, relevant, faith-based show to a faithless world. Some TV ministries would then call you a donor or a partner, but I'm going to call you family. Go to the link and become a part of my TV family today. I can't do it without you. Thanks. Hi everybody. You know, I'm very sympathetic to people struggling with chronic sicknesses, especially neurological issues, because as a young girl, I was diagnosed with epilepsy, and I used to have a constant electrical storm in my brain which would cause horrible convulsions. Well, those decades of suffering, combined now with my degree in nutrition and my growing respect for essential oils and the amazing healing properties God put in them on the 3rd day of creation, compelled me to create my very own oil blend called Quiet Brain. Quiet Brain is different than any blend I've ever seen because it's comprised of oils whose special composition is sesquiterpenoids, and they can cross the blood-brain barrier, which not all neurological medicines and not even all essential oils can do. But Quiet Brain's 8 ingredients, frankincense, myrrh, sandalwood, lavender, and more, do. Our case study resulted in testimonies of considerable relief, elimination, at the very least support, for PTSD, insomnia, migraines, stress, anxiety, seizures, and more. These aren't medical claims. Everybody's body varies, and so your results will vary. But they are testimonies that cannot be argued with. So go to quietbrainoil.com for our patent-pending oil. It comes in a roller bottle, a dropper bottle, which is great for diffusing, and there you'll also find our nasal inhalers, candles, shampoo and conditioner, and even our gift box with all the products, plus a diffuser. And download the free ebook while there to understand the science behind Quiet Brain. Again, that's quietbrainoil.com. Hey, what do you think of when I ask about your health? Probably just your diet, weight, or a sickness. But health involves so much more than just the body. You also have a spirit and a mind that need nourishing, and the Healthy Living Handbook is going to do just that. It contains a top 10 list of healthy living habits for your spirit, where we'll discuss your prayer life, the Holy Spirit, things you may be substituting for God and not even know it. Then Section 2 contains a top 10 list for your mind. I'm going to help you get organized, deal with stress, help you laugh more, and never be discouraged again. There's even a relationship quiz there that helps you make sure the people in your life are the right ones. Then in Section 3, there's a top 10 list for your body. We'll study the 3 biggies, meat, wheat, and sweets, and other things like weight loss, water consumption, and there's even my essential oils list that tells you which oils help the top 50 common household ailments. Go to lauraharrissmith.com and get your copy of the Healthy Living Handbook today. What if there was a reset button for your body, mind, and spirit? There is! I wrote the 30-Day Faith Detox so you could cleanse your body, renew your mind, and heal your spirit. There are 30 daily devotionals to confront emotional residues from past trials, what I call faith toxins, prayers to refresh your spirit, and then through yummy strategic foods, each of your 15 body systems are cleansed for a total body detox. People are losing weight and gaining faith. Go to lauraharrissmith.com today to get your copy of the 30-Day Faith Detox. Welcome back to theTHREE, everybody. And now we continue with more interview segments that I was able to grab while at this year's National Religious Broadcasters Convention in Nashville. Take a look. Alex Kendrick, author, actor, oh my goodness, director, father.
I try.
I mean, it is such a treat to get to talk to you, but the place that I have to start is you were a pastor. You were an associate pastor in Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah, my whole family's from Georgia, so I'm technically Georgian. They say the order for me was put in Georgia, and then my mom was pregnant. They moved here. So you were an associate pastor there for 5 years?
Well, I started off at a church in Metro Atlanta, and then I moved down to Albany, Georgia in the late 90s, and I was on a staff there as an associate pastor for 10 years.
Wow.
And it was during those 10 years we started making movies, and then when the movie thing kind of had a life of its own, we started doing that full-time.
The movie thing, I like that you said that. I was going to ask you that. At what point? So it was a dream in your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so then there's the vision, but you've got to have the provision. And when did it all break? What happened?
Well, it was in 2002 that I approached our pastor with my brother Stephen, who was also on staff at Sherwood.
Oh, okay.
And we approached our pastor and said, what if we made a movie for our community? And that was the scope of the vision. And he said, well, aren't they expensive? And I said, I think we can pull it off for about $20,000.
Wow.
And the Lord provided that money. So we shot a very meager movie called Flywheel.
I was going to say, that was Flywheel.
Yeah, that was Flywheel. And it did not look like I thought it was going to look. You know, I thought it was going to be this, and it was this. But the Lord did something significant with it. The story worked, and we had so much response of people that were touched by it. It started blossoming, and I think today it's sold over 1 million DVDs. And so we were just astonished at what the Lord did with that, and that led us to Facing the Giants and Fireproofing the Others.
That is amazing. Well, let's go right there. I mean, my goodness, you have had 2013, you founded Kendrick Brothers Productions, correct? And that was with Stephen and Shannon. Which one of you is the oldest?
So Shannon's the oldest. I'm the middle. Stephen's the youngest. We're all 3 years apart.
All 3 years apart.
Yeah.
I love it how you all are involved in the films. I know you've authored books together as well. But you have the cameos. You know, so my kids think you're just an actor. They think, oh, that was the guy that was in. I'm like, no, that's the guy that did the movie. Right.
And initially, I wasn't going to be in the roles that I was in.
Okay.
But since everyone was a volunteer, we couldn't find an actor, a Christian actor, that was available for 6 weeks for free. And so our pastor said, Alex, you're going to be there, you might as well do it. And so that's why I'm in the first 2 films. And then later, when some of our partners said, hey, when are you going to play another role? I was thinking I'm not. And then it's kind of come back up
So
here
it
and there.
started because of budget
Snowballing,
reasons. I know every verse to that song, trust me. Well, your 5th film, War Room, it was a box office #1 because I remember, and I saw it was just phenomenal. So I love intercession. I love prayer. We do a ladies group of prayer. We took this group to see the movie, and it got a standing ovation. So I don't know what responses you've heard about people around the country, but it resonates with people as a tool to go in and save their marriages, which was the plot of that film, but save so many other things. I mean, thank you for making it.
Well, when we were praying about what would be next and the Lord started prompting us toward making War Room, I remember thinking, are we even qualified to make this film? It kind of comes from a different perspective than we're used to. And the Lord kept confirming in numerous ways, this is the direction I want you to go. So when we made War Room, we didn't know what was going to happen. It was interesting when we told our distributor about it. They said, so this is about a closet? We don't understand, and so we were thinking, well, how do we explain this? But the Lord, sometimes you just look at when you step out in faith, do something for the Lord, and you see His fingerprints on what you're doing, and He gets the credit for that. We can tell a story, but only God can change the heart. But War Room was a real special movie for us.
Well, in addition to the Kendrick Brothers films, you've also authored 5 novels, correct? Well, they came from the films, is that what it was?
So there's a novel version of each of our stories,
right?
And we would have a partnering novelist to do that with us, and then we'd have a ministry book, and the Love Dare, Battle Plan for Prayer, Resolution for Men.
Wait, Love Dare. So that was it 131 weeks?
131 weeks.
It was on the New York Times, was paperback bestseller.
Yeah. So we didn't expect that either.
That's phenomenal. And then it also went on to, I don't have all my notes here, but it sold something like, 5-6 million copies?
6 million copies, yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. So I just want to ask you, what don't you do?
Well, my wife would like me to do more dishes.
Okay.
And help out around the house more.
So you see it right here, Christina.
Christina.
Right? Okay, Christina. I think this is the day to make a vow and keep it. So
there you go.
I don't make any promises.
She's a wonderful wife, and she does so much keeping the home base going. Sure. We have 6 kids, and so when I go home, she loves it when I jump in and help. And I do. Doing movies is such an inconsistent cycle. Because our daily life is never the same. It's traveling, it's speaking, it's shooting a movie, it's writing a book, and so we do love seeing what the Lord does with all that, and love the family involvement that we have. But it's a different animal, so you have to get used to inconsistency.
So I want to just talk about the book, The Resolution for Men. Again, that was written with your brother. Was it Stephen?
Stephen.
Okay, that was written with Stephen. That was also on the New York Times bestseller list. And then October 2011, the novel For Courageous was on the New York Times bestseller list. And so you 3, did you always work together? Was there any kind of brotherly sibling stuff going on? I've got 3 boys, okay, and I've got 3 girls. But there's a dynamic between boys that, like, our sons are very close, and they work, and they're all creative, and they work together. But they would have these wrestling matches. I would scream from downstairs, "Don't kill your brother!"
Right. Yeah.
I want to know what it was like in your home growing up.
Well, we didn't have a TV for a long time, and so we had to come up with ways to entertain ourselves. So we would, do little magic shows or things, and so I think that's good for kids not to have media for periods of time. And so growing up, when we did get to see a movie, which was rare, it was a big deal, and so it impacted us. I remember thinking, I've got to do this one day. But my brothers and I, we had the sibling rivalry early on, but by the time we were teenagers, we realized we can make each other look stupid in front of girls or help each other out in front of girls. And so we agreed, hey, we'll get each other's back, and we married 3 wonderful wives later on that we love very much, and so we get along really well. All 3 of us have been working in Kendrick Brothers for a while now, and we have 3 different skill sets, so there's not a lot of overlap.
What do you think your skill set is?
I think I'm the storyteller.
Okay.
And then, and Stephen, he's an exhorter, but he's good at producing. Right. And so the way he would say it is, I bring all the ingredients to the kitchen so Alex can cook the story. And so Shannon is the one that does all the technology, all the business side of it, behind the scenes. So we love working together.
Okay, let's talk about new projects. What have you got going on?
So we helped, the most recently, we helped Family Life do a movie called Like Arrows, a parenting movie where we follow a family for a 50-year period. And I play a role in it as well. And so from the time they learn they're pregnant to raising their 4 kids to their 50th anniversary, and what that looks like. And they face all the hurdles you and I would face, and any other parent would face. And then after that, we'll shoot another new movie. And I'll tell you about that a little later down the road.
Okay, we'll talk about that later down the road. What would you say to the person who's listening right now? They're at a church. Maybe they're on staff. Maybe they are just a creative who has a vision to do exactly what you're doing. And they cannot get over that hump.
Sure.
Maybe they're feeding a family. Listen, God gives inspiration to some of the most at the inconvenient times, but also to people who are already doing multiple things.
Yeah.
What would you say to encourage those creatives who are out there?
I know exactly what I would say, because it's something I faced. So they have a vision, a seed of this ministry concept or idea. So I put too much emphasis on that idea and the seed when I was younger. And what the Lord kept trying to tell me is you work on the soil to nurture that seed, so when it's planted, it will give birth. Matthew 13 is the parable of the seed and the sower. He said, Alex, you work on the soil of your heart and you chase after me, so that in my right time I will birth the fruit from that. And so he had me change my focus off of making movies, because I wanted to do that for so long before we did, to Alex, you seek me and you chase me, and in my time you'll birth. And he kept that promise.
Oh my goodness,
he did it. And so I would say whatever the thing is, the seed is that the Lord's given you, put more emphasis on chasing the Lord and getting your heart fertile, that fertile soil for Him to bear fruit.
Wow, that's phenomenal. And it has shown up obviously in your work, in ministry, in your family. Out of all of the things that you have done, this is going to be like choosing a favorite child. But,
oh boy.
But basically what I'm going to ask you is, out of all of the projects, which one changed your life the most? I mean, the movies, the books, all of that.
Wow.
Really impacted you in a personal way.
All of them did, because the Lord, whatever the movie was about, faith, obedience, fatherhood, prayer, all of them impacted me in a significant way. But I'd probably say courageous, because as a dad, doing the research on that, really diving into the Word, what does God call fathers to do? Yeah. I was very convicted. And so it really, really impacted me.
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
I knew that was going to be your answer. You could tell it. No, you could tell it in the film. I've seen your films, and that role for you, it was very believable. And of course, I knew the B story, that you were a family man and all of that, but it was a phenomenal film. They all were. Thank you for sitting with me.
Good to talk to you, Laura.
And I'm glad to be on your beaten path this week.
Thank you so much.
Great insight. Wow. Well, then, thank you for joining us today on theTHREE, everybody. We know that you could be watching anything right now, and I speak on behalf of everyone at theTHREE when I say thank you for choosing us today. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time on theTHREE.